Hey everybody, this is SWTOR Kamikaze, and today I will be talking about the Guardian for Vigilance spec as a damage. Now today is all about the very basics for those who are new to playing the Vigilance Guardian in Star Wars The Old Republic. To begin, please read over the discipline path, because I will only be going over some of the things to note under the discipline path here, and it will be important for you to read over the discipline path because you will likely come across some other information to help you make your own rotation. Same thing for your utility points here. I also call it the talent tree, because there will be things that you will personally like better than what I have set up for your utility points. This is all just basic information to help you get started. So to note here for your spec here, I have it set up to where you have second wind, which reduces cooldown of your Resolute by 30 seconds, and it heals you for 10% of your maximum health whenever you use it. I also have Debilitation here, which causes your Blade Barrage to immobilize the target for 3 seconds, meaning once you start damaging them with your Blade Barrage, they will not be able to move until the Blade Barrage is done, or they end up using their equivalent to Resolute. Then the third thing I have here is under Skillful is Defiance, where you generate 4 focus whenever you're stunned, immobilized, put to sleep, knocked down, knocked around. So real quick, what your focus is the equivalent to your energy, which is going to be right underneath your health bar, right down here. And this is essentially the exact same thing as Rage for the Warriors in World of Warcraft. Under Masterful, I have it set up for Purifying Sweep, which for Vigilance and the Focus disciplines, your Force Sweep and Vigilant Thrust sunders the target for 45 seconds, which reduces the target's armor rating by 20%. 45 seconds is a long time with that. I also have Pulse, which will reduce the Force Stasis ability by 15 seconds. You do not have to have this one. It's just my preference, since I am both a PvPer and a PvEer. So it allows me to deal a small amount of damage to my target, and over the duration build 3 focus, while keeping them stunned. If you really wanted to change it up, I mean, you can really do any of these. Gather Strength could be pretty useful for that. When your movement is impaired, you gain a 10% bonus damage to your next ability that consumes focus. And it stacks up to 5 times, so that's a total 50% increase to your damage, and it will last for 15 seconds. So, I mean, that could be rather useful. Under Heroic, I have Force Sleep, or Ardent Advocate, which enables your Force Sleep to enable your next Dispatch or Rolling Blade to be used against a target with any percentage of health, which lasts a total of 15 seconds for availability. The reason why this is useful is because your dispatch, or in this case running blade for the spec, is usually only able to be used on targets with 30 or at 30% health or under. In this case, this allows it to be used even if they have full health. The other one I have is Through Peace, which reduces the cooldown of focus defense by 30 seconds. This is one of your defensive abilities, so for focus defense. So that is rather helpful. Under Legendary, I have Daunting Presence, which only useful if you like using Force Kick, which Force Leap finishes the cooldown for that. I like the idea for having my Saber Reflect increasing. My Saber Reflects the last 2 seconds longer. Just for the damage to be reflected back onto my opponent, so they have that 2 seconds extra for their damage to be redirect for them to take damage from their own attacks. A good substitution is to have Jedi Ward, which reduces the cooldowns of your Force Push and all abilities by 15 seconds, and your Saber Throw will immobilize the target for 3 seconds. That is another good ability for substitution. Things to note from the discipline tree is as well as having your spec for it. For the spec, as I noted before, Force Sweep and Vigilant Thrust will sunder the target for 45 seconds, decreasing their armor rating by 20%. The things from the discipline tree, as for things to note, Force Sweep and Vigilant Thrust will spread the burns that you have on your target. So as long as it damages the opponent that's burnt, it will spread those burns to the other targets in the area. Cyclone Slash will also increase. Cyclone Slash's damage will increase by 25% to burn targets as well. Plasma Brand will finish the cooldown of your Blade Barrage. Overhead Slash will beat the target for 45 seconds, which increases your melee damage to the target by 5%. Saber Throw will also sunder the target for 45 seconds, which again decreases the armor rating by 20%. And all burn effects, as well as Blade Barrage, will have a 30% chance to finish cooldown and proc your Rolling Blade, which just also allows you to use it on the target regardless of their health percentage. For your AoE abilities, you have Vigilant Thrust and Cyclone Slash. Not a lot, but they're there in case you have a group of ads that you want to deal damage to break them down. For your single target rotation, though, I have it set up for where you do Force Leap, and then you'll be able to use the Rolling Blade back here for as long as it's procced. Otherwise, if the Rolling Blade is not procced, I have Force Leap, followed by Sundering Strike, your Plasma Brand, your Overhead Slash, followed by Vigilant Thrust, Blade Barrage, and Saber Throw. Now, as you notice, I have Blade Storm, Repose, and Rolling Blade back here. The reason for this is because I like to only use them when they just happen to be available or they're procced. 9 times out of 10, my preference is to use these whenever they're procced. The term proc is made when they're glowing, which here, such as this. That is how it has a glow around it. This is signifying that it's procced, allowing me to use that, despite the full percentage of health here. Stunning strike to increase the focus, which allows me to use other abilities that are normally not available. So that's a quick demonstration of the playstyle here. Force Lead to proc the Whirling Blade, followed by Sudden Strike, Plasma Brand, Blade Storm since it was procced, Overhead Slash, Vigilant Thrust, proc Rolling Blade, as well as Blade Storm again, Blade Barrage, which procced the Repost here, and Saber Throw to get the 3 focus, and then going through again, starting from Sudden Strike. Very basic, but still relatively eventful in being able to get damage output. Up here you have your defensive abilities. Use them sparingly and when you actually need them, because as you notice here, Saber Reflect has 1 minute cooldown, and your Saber Ward has 3 minute cooldown. Focus Defense, which normally has a 2 minute cooldown, I have set down to minute 30 thanks to the spec I set up. Ignore temporarily increases max health, which has a minute cooldown. And then I have an extra defense here called Unity. This has basically a 5 minute cooldown, nearly 5 minutes. It's only useful as long as you have a companion out. You get this through your Global Unlock and Other. You get it through the Light Attunement alignment. In order to get both of these, in this case the Unity ability, as well as the Sacrifice from the Dark, you have to maximize the alignment completely on at least one character. You'll be able to, it's a long trail, but it's very useful. As you notice, I have everything unlocked except for the Galactic Command. Not all of these are actually useful, so out of recommendation for ship unlock, for example, which is where I'm at on my screen here, I recommend that you get the training dummies, both Warzone as well as the Operation. These are going to be useful so that way you can check your damage output and everything else before you go into Operations or into War Zones to see your damage output for to see how well you fare. For convenience, I recommend getting the tactical markers in case you're the one leading and you want to mark your tactic to show where everybody's going to be where. Improved mounting, as much as it's not too terribly helpful, I do recommend getting it because once you have it, you're going to love it. It sucks not being able to mount while you're moving. The other ones, Legacy Fleet, Legacy Travel, as well as the Priority Transport Personal Starship. Nowadays, it doesn't seem like your personal starship is very helpful because of the screen, your galaxy map. Um, this allows you to essentially go to any planet right off the bat. Like, let's say we wanted to go to the impossible sector here. You just click on it on the galaxy map and you could click travel now. So it doesn't seem like the personal starship one is very helpful, except during the storyline. I believe, I haven't tested this theory, but the storyline, I believe you still have to come to the ship, your personal starship anyway, to deal with the storyline. So that's really going to be the only time that the personal starship will be useful. Except I also like using it to come here for using my training dummies. Under character perks, you have to unlock everything in each and every single character. The advancement, this will increase your XP gain from each area that you have unlocked, such as the Warzone here, flashpoints, class missions, just about everything. I usually recommend the class mission and exploration, as well as the improved command experience. Command experience, as you know, see on my screen here, gets to be rather expensive. It's a total of 3.5 million credits to unlock everything for it, for at least the character advancement. It's expensive, yes, but you really only gain the XP at max level anyway, and you have to be subscribed in order to get the experience for the command. Travel has changed a little bit since I last had it. They have improved the piloting up to 5. So that's actually new to me, but improved speeding is always improved speeder is always nice. As you can see here, I have both the Odessan and personal starship. I do recommend getting personal starship for sure, as you're leveling up, even if it's just for your alts. And then I also recommend getting any of these oddball side planets, such as the CZ-198 and a couple other planets, in case you want, like Black Hole. If you can't seem to find it on the map, or you always forget where to go, you just have the habit to just port straight over there. Convenience, I recommend getting everything, especially the field repair field repair droid, as well as the field respec. Companion is completely optional, but I do recommend at least getting the Legacy of Altruism, increasing the amount of influence your companions gain by the companion gifts by a total of up to 30%. And then I also recommend the promptness to reduce the time it takes to give the companions their gifts by a total of up to 60%. So you just speed right through it. Anyway, that's what I have for you guys for today. So, best of luck to the new players to the Vigilance spec. And let's just say it. May the Force be with you.